Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, and today we're taking a look at the ThinkStation from Lenovo, and this machine came out in 2011. So I wanted to build a PC particularly for editing videos. So that was my main objective. I built a lot of PCs in my time. That used to be my career, but I decided to see what could I pick up and to get something done on a budget. So what I have here is I have a ThinkStation from 2011, and it's got a i5 processor which is 4 cores inside. It's also got an NVIDIA Quadro 2000D graphics card or a GPU with 1 gig of RAM on it, and more about that later on. I'll show you all that. It's also got a PCI slot for an M.2 hard drive because obviously the board wouldn't have an SSD M.2 slot back in 2011. I don't think so anyhow. So that's fitted on here on a PCI slot, and it's 512 megabytes of RAM. Also on the operating system on this machine, it'll be Windows 2000 Pro Professional. So I like Windows 2000 Professional rather than any of the home programs. On the machine itself, it's got a CD player, which you don't see too often nowadays. Handy for running a CD for your car if you still have a CD player in your car. It's got 2 3.0 USB on the front. It's got headphones, and it's got mic or audio in. Okay, so around the back, it's got another 4 3.0 USBs. It's got 2 2.0 USBs, and it's got 3 audio, like the old PCs always had audio, headphones, a microphone in, or audio in. So a great option for recording, getting sound in. There's a monitor, VGA here, and so on, but I won't be using them, and there's also 2 HDMI for monitors on here, but I won't be using them because the Quadro 2000D graphics GPU card is in here, and that'll be configured to work. And I've got these 2 HDMI converters, so more about that later on in the video. So now I'm going to show you the insides, and the other thing, those machines are very easy to work on. You can open them very easy. Just take off the 2 screws, pull the cover. You don't need any screwdriver or nothing because it's all click and push, and very easy to fit stuff in these boxes. This is the NVIDIA Quadro 2000D graphics card, and it's the Quadro 2000D with a high-end professional graphics card, and it was made by NVIDIA, and it came out, launched about the 5th of September 2011. And this card, when it came out, believe it or not, if you're in the US, it cost $599. Not sure what that would equate to in euro or pounds, but that was a lot of money in 2011. The card supports DirectX 12, and it had 1024 megabytes or 1 gig of GDDR5 memory with the Quadro 2000D, which is connected using a 128-bit memory interface. The GPU is operating at a frequency of 625 MHz, and the memory is running at 650 MHz or 2.6 GBP effective. Because it's a single slot card, the NVIDIA Quadro 2000D does not require additional power. connector, so you don't need to plug any power connector, any extra power connector into this card, because it runs off the board and powered off the board, and it's rated at 62 watts maximum, which should be fine. The display outputs are, as you can see here, are 2 by DVDI connections, and I want to connect this up using the DVDI onto HDMI, which everybody uses today. So I'm going to use converters for that, but I will show you that at the end of the video. And the Quadro 2000D is connected to the rest of the system using a PCI Express 2.0 16 interface. So this just slots in here into your PCI slot. The card measures 178 millimeters in length, and it's 111 millimeters in width. So just in case you want to buy one of these to put in your own system, that's the dimensions: 178 millimeters in length by 111 millimeters in width. And it features a single slot cooling solution. So there's a cooling solution on here with this fan on the front of it here with this fan. So this cools the system down, so that's part of the card, so that cools the card, so it should keep the card nice and cool. You can pick these up fairly cheap. There's a fair few of them around at the moment, but because of the shortage of chips and stuff, I can see these going up more in price. So you can pick them up and from 40 to 50 quid upwards. I've even seen them down as low as even 20 euro, 30 euro, up to over 100 euro. So it just depends again on the quality of the card, but you can pick these up to put into your own system if you're building an old system like I'm doing. So that's the NVIDIA Quadro 2000D. This is the 2000D card. Okay, so this is a Lenovo ThinkStation M.2 SSD adapter that I'm holding here in my hand, and it's for the Lenovo ThinkStation P320 tower that I'm building, and it's got 512 megabytes of RAM on here. So this is a way of giving me my M.2 SSD hard drive, and this is going to hold my operating system, and it will also hold my programs. So I'm going to fit this now on the PCI slot on my ThinkStation. Now we're going to fit this card in here in this PCI slot. So that's my NVIDIA Quadro there, is taking up that PCI slot. So these are very easy to work on those. No need for screwdrivers or anything, so the little catch just opens that way, and then we take our part and carefully onto the motherboard. And we just start in like that into place, and then just make sure that it clicks in here. Okay. And then we just close up that to hold it in place, and that's our two cards fitted. We've got our NVIDIA Quadro 2000D, and we've got our hard drive PCI SSD M.2 card fitted. And in here you can see we've got 2 sticks of RAM, 16 gigs, and they're in 2 alternate slots like they should be, and that gives me 32 gigs of internal RAM. And we've got our processor here, and the fan on these is at an angle across on the processor, which looks funny, but that's the way it's supposed to be. For our hard drives, we've got hard drive bays here, so we've got one of these things come out. So this, the next job we're going to be doing is fitting a hard drive in here, and another hard drive. And I can fit 2 of them in, and I've also got a load of bays in here. So I have 2 cables ready here for the next stage of the build. So we'll get on to that now next. Okay, so I'm going to fit this 2.5 SSD Western Digital 320GB drive into the ThinkStation. Now, because it's a 2.5 drive, it's not going to fit in the bay. So if I pull one of the bay drawers, so you can see this is the bay drawer here, and an ordinary drive would fit, but there's nothing here to hold this. So, and you can buy a kit. So this is it. I got 1, 2, 3, 5 or 6 or 7 of these, and everything comes in the kit. You get this screwdriver, and you also get all the screws, bags of screws, right? Right, so, okay, so the drive will be screwed down on here, like so. Okay, so we're going to do that now first. Okay, that's our drive connected. Okay, so that's our 320 gig drive connected. So I've got my hard drive connected onto this with the 4 screws, and all this comes in the kit. So I'll leave links for this in the description where you can buy these things. And then this allows the hard drive to fit into this bay that comes with your ThinkStation. So you might need to use a little bit of force there to put it in, and then the pins will go in. So there we got it. There's our drive fitted in our quick release bay. Slot it then into your machine. Okay, so I can do it this way. Then put on the power. Okay, then with the 2 connections made onto my drive, and then my drive will slot in there. So this is the NVIDIA Quadro 2000D card, and I want to connect up a monitor onto this. So this has got DVI 24x5 connector, so it's got this here for 2 monitors. So obviously I can't plug my HDMI cable in here, so I've got to use some sort of a converter. So I went online and bought these 2 converters, DVI 24+5 to HDMI on this end, and then I'll plug my HDMI cable. So this connector goes on here, and then we plug in our HDMI cable, and that's it. And that'll go back into our monitor. So that's our graphics card connected up, so that you'll be able to use it with your HDMI cable. I'll leave links for these connectors down in the description underneath the video if you want to pick them up. Okay.